Welcome back, everyone, to another ASC YouTube video. We'll be doing another NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Bracket predictions video. We did this last week, so check that one out if you didn't. But obviously, in the span of a week, a lot has changed. And I wanted to make this a weekly series until the tournament starts because of how good the last video did. So I thought you guys would like this. So make sure you guys are constantly checking out the YouTube channel, liking and subscribing as always. This time I got my Michigan shirt on. I had the Maryland jersey on last time, so we'll see how it goes this time. But let's get right into it. So I updated all of it. So last time there were obviously different teams in different areas, but this time I updated it all as of, I think it was Monday at like 5 a.m. This was updated on CBS's Bracketology, so that's what we're going with in today's video like we did.
Before we get started with this video, I just wanted to say this video is brought to you by Prize Picks, the simplest form of fantasy sports betting right now. You pick 2 to 5 players and can win up to 10 times on any entry. It allows multi-sports, so you can do Mahomes over on fantasy points and an under on LeBron James. If you sign up using the code ALLSPORTS, you'll receive an instant deposit match of up to $100. Check it out on the App Store or web browser. Prize Picks. Use code ALLSPORTS for up to $100 deposit.
Before we get started, I also want to say ASC is going to be doing a huge bracket tournament for the March Madness. Details will follow soon, so make sure you guys are following All Sports Culture on Instagram to stay updated with that. But it's going to be a huge prize pool. You don't want to miss out. So make sure you guys are looking forward to that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Gonzaga and NCAA Prairie View. Going Gonzaga, not much to say about that. Maryland and Xavier. If you didn't know about the last video, I'm a Maryland fan, so I'm going to go with Maryland. Call me biased all you want, but Maryland has been on an unreal run. Just beat Michigan State the other day. I think they're on like a 5-game winning streak or something. It's incredible. So I'm going to go with Maryland. Purdue and Loyola Chicago. Okay. I'm very high on a lot of Big Ten teams, and that's probably because I have Maryland, and obviously they're in the Big Ten. But if you look at it, it's easily the best division or best conference in college basketball. So I value Purdue a lot, but Loyola Chicago as a 12/5 makes a lot of sense as an upset. So I probably would go Loyola Chicago. I mean, if you take what Loyola Chicago did against Drake and their record this year, I mean, they've only lost, 3 games, I think it is. Loyola Chicago is a very good team, and I think that they are capable of being a early upset. We'll see if they make it far. I don't think it'll be another Final Four run like they had, but I think that they can make some noise. Texas and Winthrop. This is easy. I'm going Winthrop. I think Texas is one of the most overrated teams in college basketball. We saw that on Saturday against Texas Tech. Obviously, they didn't play bad, but it was a pretty easy bet, in my opinion, doing the Texas Tech -3. I think the spread was. I'm only saying that because I bet it, but this Texas team, very inconsistent. A lot of people are kind of riding that bandwagon just because they're a tall team, and we've seen them exceed and do very well this season, but I'm just certainly not a fan of them. I think Winthrop is phenomenal. Winthrop's only lost 1 or 2 games this year. Look at how many points they're scoring. Unbelievable team, and I think Winthrop is capable of doing the 13 over the 4, which sets up a 12 versus 13 second round matchup, so that'll be fun to see. All right, Missouri and UNC. Missouri. Which Missouri are you going to get? The one that beats Alabama or the one that is kind of underperforming? Missouri is going to put up a lot of points. UNC, obviously, they've played better down the stretch. But I think it was them that just lost to Syracuse. So who knows which team you're getting. And Syracuse is obviously trying to get in the tournament as well. I think I'm going to go Missouri. UNC, I think, could easily win this game. And if UNC's hot heading into the tournament, then it makes more sense. But I'm going to go Missouri here. Tennessee and Wichita State. I like Tennessee here. Iowa and Eastern Washington. I just watched Iowa go to Ohio State and win on the road, and not just beat them, but dominate them. Easily going to Iowa. I'm super high on them, and we'll see that. Did I not do? Oh, Villanova and Abilene Christian. Villanova. Illinois and Texas State. Illinois. BYU and Colorado. Tough game. I might go Colorado. BYU. I don't know. BYU is pretty good, though. This is tough. I was talking a lot about the Pac-12 last video and how I like teams like... I was so high on Colorado last year. Extremely high on them in the tournament. Different story now in 2021. I think I'm going to go BYU. This is going to be such a tough game, though. I will have to do, like... If this was one of the games that transpired, I would have to do loads of research on that. Creighton and the winner of Drake and VCU. I would think it'd be VCU, but it doesn't matter. Creighton's going to win that game. I'm on the Creighton train. If you didn't know, I picked them last week over Illinois in this, bracket predictions video. So obviously that just shows how high I am on Creighton, and I think I'm going to continually be high on them as they moved up to a 5 seed as opposed to a 7 seed last week. Kansas, Liberty. I'm going to go Kansas. Liberty, I guess more importantly, Kansas. They have been playing a lot better. They just beat Baylor. And if you can beat Baylor, who I was so high on had them in the national championship, I would hope they could beat a Liberty team. So I'm going to go with them. Oklahoma and Michigan State. This is honestly kind of tough. Oklahoma is not necessarily a bad team, but I just saw them lose 2 straight to Oklahoma State. And that's kind of like, I don't think it's necessarily Oklahoma's fault. I just think that Oklahoma State played a phenomenal game in both of those games. But Michigan State... I just mentioned it earlier, obviously they lost to Maryland, but if you're getting the Michigan State that beat Ohio State and look, the days of the months of the year ago, January, February, Izzo, April. I hope you guys got what I did there. But it just goes to show he's unbelievable in the tournament. A lot of people had Michigan State winning it all last year. Would it be stupid if I go MSU? I think I'm going to do that. I think MSU is the pick here. Florida State and Navy. Florida State. Wisconsin and Colorado State. I'm going to go Wisconsin and Alabama Grand Canyon. I'm going to go Alabama. For some of these games, I'm not spending a load of time on just because I don't have the time. And like, for an example, on Alabama Grand Canyon, I don't think there's much of an explanation there. Or like this game, Ohio State, UMBC, I'm going Ohio State. USC and LSU, though, I will be going LSU. LSU, phenomenal on the offensive side of the ball. Phenomenal. I'm talking like one of the best teams in the country. We'll see that in the tournament. I'm valuing a team that can score it easily. Obviously, we've seen in years past that extremely matters in the tournament, and I think LSU is going to prove that. And I honestly think LSU was ranked as like a 9 seed last week, and Ohio State was a 1, and I had them as well in the second round. So that's kind of funny. Arkansas and Belmont. This is the toughest decision I've made so far, or will make. Arkansas, I think, is extremely underrated. They were, I think, like a 6 or a 5 seed last week, and they moved up to a 3, and that's for obvious reasons. They're fantastic, one of the best teams in the SEC. And I want to pick them so bad. It literally, if it was against any other team besides Belmont, I'd have them winning. I probably would have them beating a Virginia Tech, Oregon. But I love Belmont as a first-round upset. I've been saying it for so long. Belmont is like the team, as a team I've always loved in the tournament. I loved them in 2019. I'm going to love them here. They don't lose. I don't care if it's the Ohio Valley Conference. They don't lose. I'm going to Belmont. And that sucks because Arkansas, I think, got screwed over last week in the video too. Because I don't know if it was Belmont or like Loyola Chicago, one of those teams. And I didn't pick Arkansas. And I would literally if it was against like any other team. So I'm sorry for all you Razorback fans. Like, as much as I want to put them, don't get me wrong, because if Arkansas, obviously Arkansas is going to be the favorite here. I would not be surprised if they won that game and if they even made a deep run. I just know I love your team, but against Belmont, I don't know if I'm willing to pick them. And I'm so sorry because I love your team, like I said. Virginia Tech and Oregon. I was super high on Virginia Tech at the beginning of the year. Was like very passionate about them being the second best team in the ACC, and now that's not really true because of how well Florida State's playing. I just watched a little bit of Oregon, Arizona tonight, and Oregon looked very good, especially offensively. But will they beat Virginia Tech? It's March, baby. Let's say they do. All right. UNCG and Clemson. I'm going to go Clemson. I had a comment that was kind of funny. I had Clemson losing a first-round matchup last week, and a Clemson fan commented, "You're just mad because they beat Maryland." I respect teams that beat Maryland. Don't get me wrong, and I respect Clemson. They're a good team. But you got to remember, this is March, baby. A lot of upsets happen. UCSB and Texas Tech. I'm going to go Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara is a team I am extremely high on as an upset, and I think all of you should be as well. Just take a look at them. Watch how they play. Look at their record. Look at what they do on both sides of the ball, especially. Very fun team to watch. And as much as I want to put Texas Tech, I was just saying Texas Tech got the win against Texas. But UCSB, love them. Gonna pick them. Louisville and San Diego State. Louisville. And then Baylor and James Madison. I'll go Baylor. Siena and West Virginia. I'm going to go West Virginia. Rutgers and St. Bonaventure. I'm not high on Rutgers, but if I remember correctly, I have not done a lot of research on St. Bonaventure. So for all you Bonnie fans out there, I'm sorry. But I've not done a lot of research on your team. If I remember correctly, I think I remember saying to myself, I'm not as high on them as I am with other 10 seeds. Rutgers, I just don't know a lot about St. Bonaventure to pick them for the upset. Because I don't really like Rutgers. And I was just saying I love Big Ten teams. And Rutgers was at one time a top 25 team. I'm going to go Rutgers. But, I mean, you know what I'll do? For the sake of this video, I will look up and memorize and study St. Bonaventure stats and film and get that back to you guys. Houston, South Dakota State. Houston's one of my favorite teams heading into the tournament. They killed USF on Sunday, I believe it was. Offensively, absurd. Quentin Grimes was a baller and was a baller that game. Florida and Georgia Tech, Boise State. I think Boise State wins, but I kind of like Florida in this game. Oklahoma State and Toledo. Oklahoma State. How can you not be high on Cade Cunningham and what Oklahoma State has been doing over the past couple games? Virginia and Western Kentucky. Virginia, a lot of people calling Virginia overrated. Me as myself last week, but I still think Virginia has a lot in the table. Defensively, everyone knows they're great. The big question, can they prove it offensively? UCLA and Connecticut. UConn's playing a lot better. Big East is fun. I was a huge geek for the Big East. I think it was in 2019. Might have been 2020. St. John's, Creighton, Seton Hall. I love the Seton Hall team. With Miles Powell, don't even get me started. That was one of my favorite teams. St. John's is always a fun team to watch too. I mean, playing at MSG, gotta love that. Love the Big East. Just got distracted. Very sorry. UConn or UCLA? UCLA, I'm going to go with. Michigan, it doesn't matter. Go Wolverines, baby. All right, we'll start on this side for the round of 32. Gonzaga, Maryland. I mean, as much as I want to put Maryland, Gonzaga is going to beat them by a lot. Loyola, Chicago, and Winthrop. I love this Winthrop team. I think they could beat Loyola Chicago, which would probably that might surprise a lot of people though, because Loyola Chicago, they were just recently ranked. I don't know if they still are. So I feel like it'd kind of make a lot of sense for me to pick Loyola Chicago. But Winthrop, I love. I'm gonna go with Winthrop, and you guys gotta remember this is March. We sleep in May because it's March. Missouri and Nova. All right. I want to address this first because I had a lot of comments on last video saying, how did you pick Nova over Michigan? And I understand how frustrating that is. I understand why you guys would be upset. But it was one of those things where I valued Ohio State more for whatever reason. I think I put them in. I put Gonzaga and Baylor in. Or I think I might have put Houston over Ohio State. But my whole thing was I'm not going to have 3 1 seats in. It was kind of dumb. I understand I maybe should have put Michigan. It's all right, Michigan fans. I'll show you guys how good you are with this video. But Villanova, they just lost. Who they lose to? Was it Butler? A terrible game, though. Missouri's the pick. Sorry for all you Nova fans. Had you in the Final Four, now the round of 32. A lot can happen in a week, because guess what? This is March, baby. I keep drinking my water because I'm talking so much. Right. Tennessee and Iowa. All right. BYU and Illinois. Gonna go Illinois. Creighton, Kansas. Creighton. Michigan State, Florida State. I'll go Florida State. And then Wisconsin, Alabama. I'm sorry. I'm going to do... Alabama's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I might go Alabama. Just my mind... I don't know. I'll think about this for a second. My mind was like, go Wisconsin. You're not having enough upsets in the second round. But Alabama, I can't really bet against Bama. And I did them wrong last episode or like last video. Not a lot of upsets, though. Except for Winthrop. So we'll see what happens over here. LSU, Ohio State, Oregon, and Belmont. An 11 versus a 14. That is interesting. Belmont, they're going to ride it. I have a 14 seed, and I have a 13 seed in the Sweet 16. You want to know why I have that? Because it's May. Not May. What am I saying? It's March. It's March. All right. Clemson, you don't understand how bad I want to play UCSB. Wrong one. Am I getting another Clemson comment that's like, are you upset because they beat Maryland? Or maybe I'm just realistic because it's March. Baylor, Louisville, Baylor. A lot of people are like overrating Baylor just because of that one game. All right, let's not forget this Baylor team is still top notch and one of the best in the country. Don't forget that. Rutgers, West Virginia. West Virginia, I think, will win this game by 70. That should be the spread, 70 points. Florida and Houston. Virginia and Oklahoma State. Cade Cunningham proves the haters wrong, but shows people he's the #1 overall pick and drops 40 on Virginia's defense. Imagine that headline. Michigan, UCLA. I'm going Michigan. All right, let's head over back to this side. Gonzaga and Winthrop. The dream ends for you Winthrop fans, but don't worry. Making it to the Sweet 16 is more than an accomplishment. That is insane. Missouri, Iowa. I'm taking the two best teams from this side, but they are the two best teams. Creighton, Illinois. It's March, baby. I'm going with Creighton. You got to understand, I love this Creighton team so much. And it was exactly last podcast where I dressed it for, or not podcast, last video, where I dressed Creighton over Illinois. I'm going to do it again. Nothing really stood out for me that would make me sway my vote other than Creighton playing better. And that's what happened. Florida State, Alabama. I'll go Florida State. I'm going to go Florida State. Belmont, Ohio State. Baylor and UCSB. Like I said, for you Santa Barbara fans, the dream is going to end. I got Baylor. Houston, West Virginia. I'll go Houston. Michigan, Oklahoma State. I'll go Michigan. All right. So the Elite Eight. Gonzaga and Iowa. This is honestly tough. I watched Iowa play on Sunday, and you cannot tell me that Iowa team did not look like a national championship contender. Phenomenal team. But Gonzaga haven't lost all year. We've been saying about this Gonzaga team, they're easily the best team in the country. Some people think it's Michigan, and I can understand why, but is it crazy if I go Iowa? I mean, I just had Gonzaga winning it all last video. But you know why I'm so, like, easygoing or, like, easy to change things? It's because it's March. Creighton, Florida State. Going Creighton. The Creighton, they're going to the Final Four. Imagine, that's nuts. That is nuts. Baylor and Ohio State. I'm going to go Ohio State. No. I just, like, you guys are, like, going to make fun of me. because I just had Gonzaga and Baylor in my natty, and I'm like automatically shuffling it. I'm kind of regretting this Gonzaga Iowa pick. I kind of want to go Zaga. I'm sorry to all you Hawkeye fans. Just know that I think that game will be extremely close. I changed my mind. I'm sorry. I like both teams though. Baylor, Ohio State. This is a toughie though. Baylor. What? Because the Baylor that just played Kansas, Baylor's not been playing well. And I said that. They had like the 2-week period where they didn't play, and I said it's all going to dictate what they do when they come back. And since they've came back, they've looked not good whatsoever. So I'm going to go Ohio State. Baylor. You got to look better for me to put you in my Final Four. And I just saw this video. I don't know who it was someone from CBS Sports said, be cautious putting Ohio State in your Final Four. I still think Ohio State's great. Look, you played a very tough Iowa team. Obviously, you lost to Michigan State. They were hot, though. They're rising. Let's not forget, though, Ohio State has many Quadrant 1 wins. They've beaten a lot of good teams. Once they find their rhythm, I think they're fine. Michigan, Houston. I want to say Houston because I love Houston, but Michigan is the easy pick. Go Wolverines, baby. I'm not even a Michigan fan, but how can you not love them? A Michigan-Ohio State Final Four, I genuinely think that would be one of the best ratings ever. I mean, 2 rivals going at it in the Final Four. Oh my gosh. But we'll get there first. Gonzaga, Creighton. I'll go Zaga. I think the run kind of ends from Creighton. And getting to the Final Four, how can you be upset by that? But here's the big one. Michigan, Ohio State. So obviously they faced off during the regular season. Michigan won 92-87. Very good game, though. I think it was the best game of the regular season. Will Michigan win part 2, or will it be Ohio State that ties up the series, the one that means even more? I'm going to go Michigan. Michigan has been playing unbelievable basketball. I mean, I was just saying Ohio State got killed by Iowa. But you want to know who killed Iowa? Michigan. And Michigan beat Ohio State. So there's no reason for me not to put Michigan here. Michigan Gonzaga in the national championship would be a lot of fun. And that's what we're going to get here. And the winner is, drumroll please, Michigan Wolverines. I want to put Gonzaga, but what I've seen from Michigan gives me no reason to believe they're not a national championship team. So many people, like I stated earlier, think they should be the number 1 seed in the country. I get it. I totally get it. And at some points, I'm agreeing with you. And I think they win it all by a score of, let's go with 70-65. That's what I think happens. It's March, guys. It is now officially March. The tournament's about to start. I think I maybe would do 1 or 2 more of these videos, and we're there. The tournament's starting, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching the All Sports Culture YouTube channel. And for the NCAA bracket predictions video, make sure you guys are always tuning in to the ASC YouTube channel and following us on Instagram at All Sports Culture. But until next time, I'll catch you guys later.